Welcome to this episode of the Amigo CartCast. This one's going to be a little fun and different as we are recording in our library. I'm here with my co-host Scott, and we have a special guest, Nic Sulfridge, who is from a local package transport company. And we're going to talk about how they have been able to use the Amigo units in their facility and help improve efficiencies in your facility. So
Nic, you're up.
How are you feeling?
Oh, great! Yeah, this is great, and thank you for the opportunity. And this is quite a place you have set up here in the podcast booth. Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
And slightly intimidating.
A little bit.
I'm intimidated too.
This is it's been great, and I appreciate the invitation. Glad to be out here and help support the product that you have. Truly, it's been a great addition to our operation. But really going back even further in a little history with me and understanding where Amigo came from, I've got a family member who used your product, your personal mobility device, healthcare mobility device, for several years from the mid '90s until he passed recently. So I'm very familiar with the product and have a history of understanding the customer service aspect of Amigo and how dedicated Amigo's been to its end users. And when I saw the opportunity to put the material handling pieces of equipment into our operation, I thought this would be a great place to get involved with and see what that product can do for our operation.
So can you share a little bit more on how that came to light? So you are familiar with Amigo.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that we started a new line. So our line started in 2016.
2016 it actually started, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we fully went to market
2017. 100%.
So how did you hear about the new line at Amigo?
So in 2016, when you were developing the material handling products, the Dex Pro and Dex Pro Plus, we were actually just opening up a brand new facility.
Perfect timing.
Right down the road. Yeah, right down the road. And we were going from a very medium-sized facility to about a 250,000 square foot facility. And really just about the same month that we opened the doors on that building, just in passing had a conversation with the good folks here at Amigo, and they had said, look, we have this material handling device that we're testing. We want to get this in the marketplace. Just take a look at it for us, see if it will work in your operation. And I said, that sounds like a great opportunity.
Pretty easy.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's bring
no pressure.
Drop it off, bring it over. We'll see if it fits with what we do, and we'll give you some feedback. And that's Amigo brought that to us and said, tell us if this works. And so there we go. We're off and running. That was in 2016 with one test unit or sample unit. And since then we've purchased 4 just for our building and our operation. And they've been phenomenal units, fan favorites, if you will. Everyone loves to have the Dex Pro or the Dex Pro Plus and use it for their shift. And it's been very, very helpful.
What's interesting to note is that basically in 2016, that's kind of how we started our whole demo process. And that was basically, we've got somebody that might have a need. Nic might have a need. We didn't know if he had a need. So it was almost like a catch line, like try it before you buy it. Mm-hmm. So, and that was a perfect for you guys, no pressure at all to purchase anything, but just see if it works.
Right.
And we still do that today with our road shows.
So can you share because I know in your large facility, you obviously have a lot of different conveyors, different products that you're able to use. Have you found a specific application that you said the Amigos are a fan favorite? How do they use them?
Right. So the majority, we move small packages and freight from in the building to out of the building. We sort it in the middle. Okay. So we move about 35,000 pieces every morning in about a 4.5 hour span. And then we do that again in the afternoon in about the same amount of time. So we move quite a bit of freight in and out of the building every single day. Most of that freight is handled on a vast sortation conveyor system. Okay. We do have a niche need for these material handling, these Dex Pro Plus Amigo devices, to move very specific pieces from one place to another quickly. And when I say that, I mean the sortation equipment in our building takes roughly 13 minutes to get from point A to point B. And 13 minutes in our business is a long time when we're talking about
seems like a short period of time.
when we're talking about productivity. Getting something from here to there quickly matters. And when we have one piece or 5 pieces or one specific thing that we need to get moved, we'll grab the DexPro Plus and put that thing on it, move it very quickly, and it's been very, very handy. The other nice thing about the DexPro and the other material handling devices are they're very mobile. And they can get in and out of places easily and quickly and safely. Whereas a Cushman, a tugger cart, or a golf cart, or an old steel push cart just are not that efficient or safe or easy to use. And these DexPros have been great for those applications.
I've been to that facility, and you have what's called tugger trails. And basically, if people don't know what that is, because I had to learn it as well, that's basically markings on the floor that your folks have to actually drive on. Is it true that because of the size and the speed of the products, the DexPro Plus, that are they allowed to go anywhere?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We use a tugger path for the larger pieces of equipment, the Cushman carts and the trailers behind it. Number one, for safety. And safety is a top priority in our operation. So we keep those tugger paths on a certain a route so that we can avoid accidents or injuries or colliding with people on their travel path.
Right.
The DexPros, similar to like a push cart, we can move anywhere in the building on or off those paths. And that's what makes the DexPro so popular, is that instead of waiting for a tugger cart to come around on the path, just put it on the DexPro, get it to where it needs to be, and you can really virtually go anywhere you need to in the building, including into the office space, down the hallway, wherever you need to be.
So before you had the Amigo units, was that what you were doing before, waiting for a tugger to move those packages, or doing it manually?
Right. Well, manually with a very heavy steel cart, right, that you had to push or pull. And number one, it's fatiguing. It's tiring to do that, especially when the building is as big and as vast and expansive as it is. Number two, it's heavy and it can be dangerous. Right. There's been plenty of times when people have hurt themselves pushing or pulling a cart, either hitting a foot or heel, or just the repetitive motion. So those the DexPros make everything so much easier, and it's been very, very popular.
Kind of off on a tangent. It's funny, we go to a lot of trade shows, and it's 2024, right? And it's amazing the amount of people that are still using push carts today. So your facility is no different than the facilities we hear about at these trade shows, is that we're looking to try to lessen fatigue or improve safety in those particular situations.
Well, and we just recently recorded an episode that was all about right-sizing your fleet. You know, we understand we're not trying to replace maybe all push carts. There's still a need for them. We're not trying to replace fork trucks. There's still a need for those. But it's just, how can we integrate to make it more efficient for your employees? And you spoke about fatigue, which I think is very important to understand, that the workforce needs to be able to do their job efficiently and not go home at the end of the day like regretting what they did all day. We want to feel
and let's be real, since 2020, COVID and all that good stuff, hasn't there been an issue of keeping workers and finding workers? So the other side of this, that maybe the tougher sell is, we're trying to keep our workers happy. But honestly, with a lot of these products we've sold, not in just to your facility, but around the country, we've had a lot of people say employee satisfaction has gotten better.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one is safety. And we obviously that's a priority. And these devices make work safer. Number two is morale, right? And engagement with our people. And if people are happier at work because of maybe a simple device like having a DexPro to move around the building to do their work, instead of having to push around a cart or carry something in their arms, it's a no-brainer.
Perfect. That's great. Wonderful. So I've been to your facility a couple of different times. We've had also in our podcast, we've talked about this. What's neat about our product, one of the neat features is it plugs into a 110 outlet. So when I come into your facility and I come through the back doors and you've got your safety guardrail, those machines are sitting there. Now, tell me if I'm right or wrong. I like to think I'm right, Samantha, most of the time. But your bigger equipment, it sits somewhere else. And it's possible, for a guy like me that struggles to take steps, it's many steps away. When I come into your facility, it's right back. You come to the door, I think the time clock's there where people punch in, and those machines are parked there charging. So is there a benefit to that?
Absolutely. And that's one of the features that I noticed first when that first model was dropped off. We had just opened that building. Mm-hmm. We had just finished putting in the high output charging stations for the tugger equipment, the golf cart, so on and so forth. And I thought, okay, so now we have to add more power units and charging stations for these things. And I believe it was within a few minutes, I asked that question, and the answer was, no, you take the cord out of the back and you plug it into any outlet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, any outlet, you just plug it in. That's it. It's very, very simple. In fact, in the few hours that the machines are down for us during the day, you'll see them parked in various places throughout the building. Just wherever somebody finds an outlet, they stop, they park, they plug it in, and they walk away, and it's done.
It's really cool. Like I say, the people that listen to the podcast, you take everybody for face value, right? And we speak the truth, but they might be going, "Is this really a big deal?" You live it every day, and you see it's a big deal. So that's what a feature for us to offer.
Yeah, and also, we were very fortunate to start the relationship early on while you guys are building your new facility. But the benefit of being able to plug it in anywhere is it doesn't have to be a new facility. We've sold to other locations that might have been more maybe a legacy site, and they have the same benefits. They're able to find a corner that they're able to plug it in and make sure that they're charged. So you don't need a whole warehouse remodel to make it work.
No, it's a very user-friendly piece of equipment, and it's been great for us.
So along that line, and I'm sorry, I know you have a bunch of questions, but I just get excited.
I know, we can't skip.
I'm
There's
excited.
No script, don't worry.
The other thing about the product is when we talked about your bigger equipment and the special high efficiency or high voltage charging, let's talk about the batteries. These batteries are sealed batteries. They require zero watering. I'm assuming your bigger products are in a different area. They might require maintenance. So not that we're always plugging the products, which we kind of are, but tell us about the batteries and how simple that is.
Okay, so simple answer is I don't know much about the batteries because I haven't had to learn anything about these pieces of equipment aside from reading the user's manual.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's been no issues with the equipment in almost 8 years now.
Right.
So periodically we'll do maintenance, or your techs will come out and do maintenance.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, in and out, and the equipment themselves are, I can count on one hand the times that I've called Amigo and said, "Hey, I think maybe something's wrong with this thing," and it turns out that it was user error.
Oh.
Right. So
we're here though, no matter what. Yes.
Right. This just ties into if people had listened to the service podcast. Yeah, the KISS. That's right. It was your deal. The KISS, keep a simple service. And this is real life stuff. So people can now, when they hear the podcast and then see this video, they're going to know, hey, we are trustworthy, Samantha.
Nick said.
Nick said.
Yeah, zero problems with these devices. It's been great. Plug them in, they run all day. In fact, I think they run for a couple days. We have a habit of charging them every day, which maybe that's not good.
No, we
that's
want
a good habit.
We want
Absolutely.
that habit.
Yeah.
Some folks do charge them once a week, and then we just recommend every day you use it, you charge it, even if it doesn't need it. The other cool thing about the product line is the batteries will never overcharge because the charger it just shuts itself down to a point to like a trickle. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I think one thing that you had mentioned earlier, and something that we really are excited about is just the partnership. And we appreciate you letting us come in early on to kind of test the product, to get feedback, to be here today as a testimonial. But also, one thing I would love for Scott to share is maybe a little bit about how we've been able, our entire team. So it's not just the sales team, but our research and development team, our continuous improvement team, to really understand how can we keep up with the times to constantly evolve our product. And you've been a great partner with that. You've been letting us come into your facility to maybe put new things on or test things. And I know, Scott, you've been involved with a few of those. If you can share with our listeners some of the continuous improvement we've been able to implement.
Right, most definitely. Well, what kind of came from selling the products to their facility is there are vehicles that are in and out, and there's salt and there's water. Initially, when we did this, we didn't realize that, right? So the next thing we hear is, oh my gosh, these handles aren't turning properly. We scratch our head and go, well, this doesn't make sense. I mean, these things are indestructible, we think, right? Long story short was, because of the moisture and because of the salt, our steering kind of had some corrosion. So in that instance, we were able to possibly create a fender, an idea that we had. We were obviously interested in looking at a lubrication on the steering mechanism, and then also maybe some testing on some different bearings. So because of our relationship with you, Nic, and this is where it all started, we've been able to all of a sudden make changes on our whole product line because we didn't know about it until it happened there. So even though we didn't want to hear, oh, there's a phone call and they're having troubles, it's just really helped our product become better. And we also had a sensor that we came up with that we wanted to try to see if it would help out. We put it on your units, and we got a phone call within like an hour, and they said, it is eliminating our efficiency. It's slowing us down. And believe it or not, we stopped it. So we didn't do it anymore. So it's really because of your facility and the people that work there we've made those improvements.
Yes, and the feedback is so important because
most definitely.
The end user who uses it day in and day out, that's our goal, is how to make it more efficient for you. And it's the feedback can be good, it can be bad, but that's important for us. And we do take it back and take it very seriously to have those continuous improvements and make sure that ultimately you're getting the best efficiency out of your team.
Yeah, and the team that uses these devices at our building are very good at providing feedback. And over the course of the first few years that we had the machines in use, my team came up with some very good suggestions, I thought, such as the tray that carries other utility items like tape and pens and pencils, and the tray on the front of the device.
Right.
A cage around the safety light, the strobe light.
Yeah.
Those are important things, right? Little things, but important things. And as time has gone on, you've been able to adapt, and I'm sure that applies to several of the other customers and units that you have out there.
The cool thing about that is when a salesperson talks about these improvements, we get an eye roll with our product people. Nothing against the product people. We love you. But we get an eye roll when we can tell them, a customer, because when you talked about the tray in the pockets, the first prototype we had didn't have anything on there at all. It was empty. And then we came up with that. So that's critical feedback.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Nic, is there anything else that you feel like you would like to share about what you do or the Amigos? I feel like you've done a great job really explaining how it's been able to improve efficiency and help your facility out.
I'd just wrap it up with this, and I'd say the carts, the DexPro, the DexPro Plus, have been great for the specific need that we have to move freight from one place to another very, very quickly, very safely, and to do so in a way that the employee using that device is very satisfied with. It's been a great addition to our operation.
Yeah, I love that.
I have one other question or one other comment and it's kind of a tribute to you, Nic, is that since we met Nic in 2016, we are proud to say that we are in 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 12 locations of your organization. And that really started with you. We kind of had to get you involved with that. We had to start with you, and you've been gracious to us. And we appreciate that, but we've grown it that much. Now, in the world of sales, we obviously want more. If we didn't, we shouldn't be in sales, right?
Right.
And we're slowly getting there. But one other quick thing would be, so thank you for that. But the other thing is, with your organizations, it's really up to that location if they're interested in finding something new. Right. So is that how that kind of works?
It is. Yeah. In our organization, it's very individualized to the operation. Yeah. And it may not fit in every single operation.
Right.
For ours, it certainly does. For a handful of others, it certainly does.
Yeah.
For those operations, if they don't have that piece of equipment, they're missing out. They should look at this thing, see what it can do for them, and see how much safer and more efficient they can do the work that they're already doing, but in a much, much better way.
And I think if anyone is listening and hears that and think that they might have an application or want to see it, we have some different case studies and testimonials specifically that tie into what Nic's speaking to on our website. So please visit myamigo.com/industrial.
You're pretty good at this. The other side of that is that fits into our Amigo Roadshow and our 5 to 7
That was my
day.
next point.
You and
We're
I,
on
if
it.
we're thinking alike, you're in trouble.
Oh boy. I know that.
But that's the whole thing, is we still do that today, Nic. I mean, we've built off that, the fact that we have a facility, we're going to drop it off, we're going to train people to a point, and we're going to drop it off, and you know what's kind of cool about it? You just sell yourself on it. And you know what's really unique is that if it doesn't work, no worries. We'll pick it up and we'll move on. But you don't know you need it until you see it, and we'd rather you see it and either say yes or say no. But if you never see it, there's never a yes. It's always a no. So
Yeah, I think that's great.
yeah.
One other thing I did want to mention, because I did do a little statistic research, just that your company is now up to 15 million packages a day across the world, which is incredible. So you think about how like one site can impact that, and how you've been able to do it just so effectively in our Great Lakes Bay region. So thank you for all that you've done. And
I think this has been great. This is our trial run. This is the maiden voyage.
it is.
We're not going to end up at the bottom of the
I
ocean.
feel like we need champagne.
Are we going to be end up at the bottom of the
okay.
ocean?
I hope not.
I don't think we're going to.
No.
So in true podcast form, how do we end?
Well, we like to say, first of all, Nic, thank you so much
Yes.
for joining.
Thank
This
you.
wraps up another
This is
episode
fantastic.
of our Amigo CartCast and ways to improve efficiency in your facility. We really appreciate your time with us today, and I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been great. It's great to see the facility. Great to see you guys. Always great to support a business that's not only local but really a truly well-run business with great people with a great mission. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
So what's the final thing we say?
That's it. Oh, all right. Ready?
Yep.
What do we say?
Keep it rolling.